the cancer that grows silently inside you. Colorectal cancer, also known as intestinal cancer, is the third most common type of cancer and ranks second among those that kill the most. To give you an idea of how serious this disease is, roughly 1 in every 10 cancer deaths is caused by this type of tumor. According to the National Cancer Institute, the key question is how you can identify it, how you can tell that something is not right in your intestine. And more important than detecting it early is knowing what you can do to protect yourself from this condition that can grow silently inside your body and is increasingly affecting young people under the age of 50. Before we get into the warning signs, there is a piece of information that may completely change the way you see this disease from today onward. Why this tumor is killing more and more young people. Today we will divide the content into 2 major sections, because I do not just want to frighten you. That is not the goal. Our main focus is to give you real tools and real strategies so you can take care of your health. In the first section, I will open your eyes to the signs and symptoms you need to watch for regarding colorectal cancer. If any of these signs or symptoms occur, the ideal course of action is to seek medical help promptly. These are warning signs you may not see but can feel in your daily life, and they cannot be ignored. Because information without action is just mental clutter. It does not change your fate. Nothing happens in your life. Knowledge, when used well, is the difference between living with health and quality of life, or perhaps becoming a prisoner of a serious illness. You are about to learn the 7 signs your body sends before it is too late. What your body tries to tell you every day. These are signs and symptoms, small messages and warnings your body gives you. They are not mysterious symptoms. They are symptoms that can often be confused with simple problems like hemorrhoids or indigestion, but that may in fact be hiding a tumor. It can be a fine line between an early diagnosis that saves lives and a late diagnosis, with little time left for treatment and little hope remaining. In the second section, we will talk about prevention, because preventing is far more powerful than curing. We will show you which habits genuinely reduce the risk of this type of tumor, which foods should be on your plate regularly, and which conscious choices can build a natural shield against this type of cancer. But before that, there is something fundamental about how this tumor takes hold inside your body that most people have never been told. How the tumor grows and disrupts everything inside. Our intestine is the part of our body through which food travels, so that we can absorb all nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. Everything eventually becomes stool. When a tumor begins to grow in the intestine, it disrupts the passage of food, causing a feeling of bloating along with signs and symptoms that cannot be ignored. We can organize these signs into 7 to make it easy to understand. They must not be overlooked, because the sooner you seek help and get tested, the sooner you identify the problem at its earliest stage, giving you a much greater chance of recovery. We will also talk about polyps, colonoscopy, tests that can be done without a colonoscopy, and why this tumor is rising exponentially in young people, which has been a serious concern for the medical community worldwide. The first of these 7 signs is so common that almost no one takes it seriously. But it may be exactly the warning your body is trying to give you right now. First sign, the change. Almost no one notices. The first symptom is a change in bowel habits, because each person has their own natural rhythm. Some people go to the bathroom right after breakfast in the morning. Some go 2 or 3 times a day, while others go every 2 or 3 days. Everyone has their own natural bowel pattern. The problem begins when that pattern changes without explanation. You may realize it has been a long time since you last went, and you start feeling some discomfort. Someone who used to go regularly stops doing so. These are the kinds of changes that raise concern. Eating something that did not agree with you, or overindulging at a party, is not alarming. The problem is when it repeats itself, or when your bowel habits genuinely change all of a sudden. If this sign has already concerned you, what comes next may surprise you even more. When diarrhea and constipation alternate without stopping. It can be diarrhea that comes and goes, alternating with periods of constipation. It may come with a feeling of bloating that you had not experienced before, and that persists. Several studies show that around 65% of patients with colorectal cancer have this change in bowel habits as one of the first signs. This is just the first of 7 signs. Each one alone is already a reason to pay attention. But when 2 or more appear together, your body is no longer whispering. It is screaming for help. The second sign is even more alarming, because many people confuse it with something entirely different and let it go without investigation. Second sign: the blood that appears and no one wants to see. Moving on to the second of our 7 signs and symptoms, we have blood, or the appearance of blood, in the stool. This blood can present in 2 ways. One important thing you need to do is never flush before looking at what came out. The blood can appear in 2 distinct ways depending on how far from the exit the tumor is located. The further from the exit the tumor is bleeding, the darker the blood appears in the stool. Stools that look like coffee grounds, almost black and very foul-smelling, have a technical name: melena. This is an indication of a tumor most likely developing in your intestine. The smell is strong and fetid, sometimes reminiscent of coffee grounds, and in some cases even resembling tar. But that is not the only way blood can appear, and the second form deceives people even more. Red or dark, how to identify the difference. If the tumor is close to the exit, the stool arrives firmer, less pasty and dark, and the blood may be bright red. It can even drip into the toilet or appear on the paper during hygiene. Of course, there are many other causes, the most common being hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and even foods like beets, which can change the color of the stool. The most important thing is not to underestimate bleeding that occurs independently of your diet. When you notice no dietary change, have no hemorrhoids, have not eaten anything different, and begin to experience some type of bleeding, that is the moment an alarm should go off in your mind. There is even a specific laboratory test designed to detect blood in the stool, called the fecal occult blood test. The third sign reveals something that happens inside your body in an even more silent way, and that many people attribute to everyday stress without suspecting anything. Third sign: the pain that disappears and returns without clear reason. The third of the 7 symptoms is abdominal pain. Not the kind of fleeting discomfort you get from eating something heavy, overindulging, or consuming too much fiber that causes gas and then quickly improves. This is not that. It is a pain that starts to bother you, a frequent cramp that comes, goes, disappears, and returns again. Most of the time, the pain has no connection to anything different you have done. It can appear when you have a bowel movement, when the tumor is close to the exit, near the rectum. The passage through the intestine can become obstructed, and the person strains hard because the cancer is blocking the passage of the fecal content. And if this pain appears alongside the next sign, your body may be sending you an alert that cannot wait another day. Fourth sign: the fatigue that no amount of rest can fix. The fourth symptom is chronic fatigue, a deep exhaustion. We're not talking about a tiring day or a bad night's sleep. This is a tiredness that drags on for days, for weeks, even for months. The mind feels worn out. The body keeps looking for a place to rest. Often this is a silent anemia resulting from small bleeds that may even be invisible in the stool. This bleeding occurs because the tumor can become ulcerated, causing the person to lose blood during bowel movements, and the body loses iron and red blood cells, leaving our organism unable to receive enough oxygen. You begin to live as if you are carrying a weight tied to your back. The tumor itself consumes energy, vitamins, and minerals because it wants to grow. It uses nutrients to proliferate, to divide, and even to send metastasis. It is like an unwanted guest eating your food, living in your home, turning off the lights, and leaving you without strength. The 3 remaining signs are just as important as these, and one of them is mistaken for something completely ordinary in anyone's daily life. Fifth sign: the belly that bloats without explanation. The 5th sign is excess gas, which can come with abdominal swelling, making it seem as though the intestine is backed up. The difference when a tumor is present is the persistence of that abdominal bloating. When the intestine becomes obstructed because a cancer is blocking the passage of fecal content, the stagnant material ferments and produces gas. The belly bloats and distends, cramps and abdominal pain all become increasingly constant. It feels like the belly is growing, puffing up like a balloon. It is as if you were watering something, doubled the flow, but the water kept coming, and the obstructed area kept swelling more and more. If this happens frequently without a clear explanation, the sixth sign may be occurring inside you at the same time, and it is even more deceptive because it can seem like good news. Sixth sign. Losing weight without dieting can be a danger sign. The sixth sign is unexplained weight loss. It is one of the most deceptive signs. It is not specific to colorectal cancer. It can happen with many types of tumors. But imagine this situation. You weigh 150 pounds and continue with your normal life, eating the same things, following the same routine, doing your usual physical activities. Nothing has changed. And within a few weeks you are at 147, 143, 141, 137 pounds. This weight loss happens because the tumor alters nutrient absorption, produces substances that reduce appetite, increases energy expenditure, and usurps your nutrients. You lose not only fat but also muscle. The person wastes away. The face takes on a somewhat gaunt appearance. It is as if something is draining, and indeed it is, your energy from within, silently and insidiously. The seventh and final sign is one that happens in the bathroom, and that almost everyone dismisses as something temporary. Seventh sign. The feeling that something was left behind. The seventh symptom is the sensation of incomplete evacuation, which has the technical name of tenesmus. It is as if you go to the bathroom, manage to have a bowel movement, but when you stand up you have an uncomfortable feeling that something is still stuck inside, as if you have not eliminated everything you needed to. This sensation can often be accompanied by thin stools, ribbon-shaped or even pellet-shaped, which people commonly describe as looking like goat droppings. The tumor reduces the space through which food passes and the stools become narrow. This is a classic symptom of a tumor already located in the final part of the intestine. Now that you know the 7 signs, it is time for the most powerful part of this content, because there is a path that can protect you even before any symptom appears. The truth about late diagnosis. These signs are not always obvious. Many times they occur silently. You adapt to them and assume they are just a normal part of how your body works. Many people discover colorectal cancer when it is already advanced, because in its early stages it grows slowly, and these signs and symptoms are somewhat silent if you do not actively observe them, if you do not stop and realize that your body is sending you messages. That is why understanding these signs, paying attention to your body, and actively seeking to notice changes you did not feel before is fundamental, because it helps you identify the disease early. But there is a number that completely changes the way you look at this diagnosis, and it may be the greatest reason for you to act now. 90%. Cure rate. The number that saves lives. When colorectal cancer is identified at an early stage, 90% of cases are curable. That means 9 out of 10 people can be saved if it is caught early. The problem is that many people only find out when it is too late, when the tumor has perhaps already metastasized and spread throughout the body. At that point, medical resources become more limited, but you do not have to wait for symptoms to appear before taking action. What I want to focus on now are practical strategies to protect and prevent yourself. There are 7 prevention tips, just as we discussed 7 signs and symptoms in the first section. And the last tip is the most important of all. The first strategy begins with something so simple that most people completely underestimate its power. First and second strategy: water and foods that protect. The first strategy is hydration. If the intestine does not have enough water, transit slows significantly, stools become hardened, and over time the contact between toxins and the intestinal wall increases, opening the door to mutations and inflammation. When you drink an adequate amount of water, intestinal transit flows better, stools become soft, pass through the intestine easily, and this reduces the risk of damage to the intestinal lining. Water is a lubricant for our intestine, ensuring the movement called peristalsis, which pushes the stool along and keeps our organism healthy. The second tip is to eat fruits, vegetables, and greens every day, especially those rich in fiber, because fiber acts like a broom sweeping through your intestine. It speeds up fecal transit, reduces the time toxins are exposed to the intestinal lining, substances that come from our daily environment such as pesticides, which can be potentially carcinogenic. Fruits and vegetables naturally contain many antioxidants and bioactive compounds that neutralize free radicals and reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the villains in the transformation of normal cells into cancerous ones. But what comes in the next tips may be exactly the habit that is putting your health at risk right now, without you realizing it. Third strategy: the exercise your intestine needs too. The third tip is to practice physical activity. When you are sedentary, even your intestine becomes sluggish. Body movement stimulates peristalsis, which is the rhythmic contraction of the intestinal loops that drives and pushes the fecal content along. Walking, running, cycling, swimming, and getting up from your chair and moving around several times a day all help keep peristalsis functioning well. In addition to improving intestinal transit, exercise combats systemic inflammation, helps regulate weight, and stabilizes hormones linked to many other health problems. It is as if exercise were a conductor organizing the orchestra of our body. The fourth tip reveals a villain that is present on the tables of millions of people every day, and that science has already proven capable of causing cancer. Fourth and fifth strategy: the villains on your plate and the habits that slowly kill. The fourth tip is to reduce excessive consumption of processed meats. Bacon, sausage, ham, hot dogs, and salami, when not natural, contain many chemical additives such as nitrites and nitrates used to preserve food, and this significantly increases the risk of intestinal cancer. The World Health Organization has already classified processed meats as carcinogenic, meaning they are proven to be capable of causing cancer. Studies published in Lancet Oncology show they increase the risk of colorectal cancer by up to 18%. The fifth tip is to limit alcohol and eliminate cigarettes from your life entirely. Tobacco contains dozens of carcinogenic substances that attack not only the lungs and mouth, but also the intestine. And alcohol, when processed by our body, produces acetaldehyde, a substance that intoxicates and damages the DNA of intestinal cells. This combination of tobacco and alcohol is like pouring gasoline on a fire. If your goal is to live longer, better, and free of disease, you must cut both of these habits out of your life. The sixth tip reveals something that many people still treat as a matter of vanity, but that science has already proven to be a matter of survival. Sixth strategy: the weight you carry may be making you sick. The sixth tip is to maintain a healthy body weight. Excess abdominal fat acts like an inflammation factory inside your body. Adipose tissue releases substances that increase inflammation, cause insulin resistance, and over time, all of this promotes an inflamed organism with a greater tendency to develop tumors. Obesity, according to data from the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, is associated with a 30% higher risk of colorectal cancer compared to people who are not overweight. Taking care of your appearance and your weight is not just aesthetics. It is a survival strategy, and I say that with complete certainty. And now we come to the seventh and most important tip of all, the one that can literally save your life before any symptom ever appears. Seventh strategy: the test that detects cancer before it finds you. The seventh fundamental step to avoiding colorectal cancer is to get screening tests and catch the disease early. One of the most widely used today is the colonoscopy. Unlike some other types of tumors, colorectal cancer can be directly prevented. The colonoscopy itself is valuable not only because it looks, but also because it can remove precancerous polyps and collect biopsies to analyze whether the material is or is not already a tumor. To perform this exam, sedation is normally used so the person feels no discomfort, and a camera is passed through the intestine to identify changes in the intestinal lining. However, if this is a barrier for you, there are ways to have a virtual colonoscopy through a CT scan, in which the person enters a machine. Modern CT scanners are quite advanced and powerful, capable of reconstructing your intestine on a computer screen to perform a virtual colonoscopy without inserting anything into you. What you are about to read is the most important summary of everything that has been said, and it may be exactly what you need to make a decision that will change your future. The choice that can change your destiny from today. This content was not meant to frighten you, quite the opposite. It was meant to open your eyes and show you that there is a path of prevention. There are ways to monitor your organism. Colorectal cancer does not have to be a death sentence. We have strategies to prevent it and to identify this tumor early. It can be cured when detected at an early stage. So do not wait for your body to cry out for help, for your belly to bloat and your intestine to shut down completely. Start listening to your body, paying attention, and getting to know your bowel habits. If you have never stopped to observe them, start today. Take care of your diet. Abandon the risk factors. Follow the tips shared here, and do not neglect screening. The information you have received here is very powerful. It makes a difference and saves lives. Not only put it into practice now, but also share it with someone you want to see well, healthy, and taking care of themselves. Health is our most precious asset. Without it, we cannot enjoy life, we cannot work, we cannot sustain ourselves, we cannot do anything. And the best medicine for treating any disease is prevention, defeating the problem before it ever takes hold.